All right, get ready to dive in because today we're tackling hydropower engineering with insights from RoleCatcher.
It's a fascinating field, really, going beyond just dams and turbines, although those are impressive feats of engineering. We'll be exploring the minds behind this essential source of clean energy.
So, for those of us who don't live and breathe engineering, what does a hydropower engineer actually do daily? Is it all hard hats and rugged landscapes?
Picture this. One day, you might find yourself trekking through a rainforest, surveying a potential dam site, while the next, you're in a sophisticated office environment using computer models to analyze water flow.
Wow, that's a dynamic range. It's definitely not what I initially pictured. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's break it down to the basics. What exactly is hydropower engineering?
In essence, it's about harnessing the kinetic energy of moving water and transforming it into electricity. It's like rivers are these untapped batteries just brimming with potential energy.
Where hydropower engineers are the masterminds who've cracked the code to plug us in.
Exactly. They're the ones who design and oversee the intricate systems of dams, power plants, and all the components in between that convert that raw energy into a usable form.
Sounds like a pretty vital job, especially with renewable energy taking center stage. What makes hydropower so unique in this green energy landscape?
Unlike solar or wind energy, which can be fickle depending on weather conditions, hydropower is remarkably reliable. Come rain or shine, water keeps flowing, providing a steady, predictable stream of electricity.
The dependable workhorse of renewable energy, then. I'm starting to understand the appeal, but I can't help but think about the elephant in the room. The environmental impact. Damming rivers, that can't be without consequences, right?
You raise a valid point, and that's where the expertise of a hydropower engineer becomes crucial. While there are inherent concerns with dam construction, these engineers work diligently to mitigate negative environmental impacts.
So it's about striking that balance between meeting energy demands and ensuring ecological well-being.
Precisely. They employ innovative solutions like fish passages, essentially bypass routes that allow fish to migrate freely even with the dam in place, minimizing disruption to their natural habitat.
Okay, I'm convinced of the importance. But let's say someone is listening, totally inspired, but has no idea where to even begin. What's step one on the path to becoming a hydropower engineer?
A strong foundation in math and science is key, and that usually translates to a bachelor's degree in civil or environmental engineering. However, and this is interesting, RoleCatcher emphasizes that strong reading comprehension skills are critical in this field.
Reading comprehension. Now that sounds surprisingly straightforward. Why is that so important for an engineer?
Well, think about it. Hydropower engineers work with incredibly complex technical documents, intricate blueprints, dense environmental impact assessments. Misinterpreting even a tiny detail could have huge consequences.
Right, it's not just about building, it's about thoroughly understanding the intricacies of the entire system. I imagine those communication skills also play a vital role, especially when you're collaborating on such large-scale projects.
Absolutely. Being able to effectively communicate with a diverse team, from fellow engineers and government agencies to local communities, is paramount. RoleCatcher discovered that being a good listener is just as valuable as being a good speaker. You need to truly hear the concerns of everyone involved, whether it's an environmental scientist or a resident living near a proposed dam site.
It's about finding solutions that address everyone's needs. It's not just about the technical, it's about incorporating that human element as well.
Exactly. And that's a significant driving force for many entering this profession. It's not just about constructing incredible structures. It's about making a tangible, positive impact on the world.
Now that's a powerful motivator. So let's say someone has the education, the passion, those vital communication skills. They're ready. What does their career trajectory look like? Is it a straight shot to the top, or are there different branches they can explore along the way?
It's more of a journey, really, not a quick climb to the summit. RoleCatcher highlights that there are typical stages you go through, each with its own learning curves and rewards.
So you begin by getting your feet wet, literally and figuratively, mastering the fundamentals, and then progressively taking on larger, more intricate projects.
Precisely. As you accumulate experience and hone your skills, you might discover a specific niche within hydropower engineering that truly resonates with you.
This is where it gets really interesting, right? It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of career. You can really carve out your own path within this field. So what are some of those specialties? What different routes can someone take as they navigate this hydropower landscape?
Let's say you've got this incredible eye for design and you're bursting with innovative ideas. You can become a design engineer. the one who takes those initial concepts and turns them into those highly detailed blueprints that bring hydropower plants to life.
So they're like the architects of clean energy, using their engineering prowess to design those impressive structures that power our world. That's amazing. But what about those individuals who are captivated by the dynamics of water itself, the way it flows and interacts with the environment?
They might gravitate towards hydrology engineering. These are the folks who've dedicated themselves to understanding water on an almost intuitive level. They meticulously analyze rainfall patterns, evaluate water availability, and figure out how to optimize energy generation based on those natural rhythms and cycles.
They're like water whisperers, deciphering the secrets hidden within those currents. What an intriguing specialization. Hydropower engineering really does offer something for everyone. But let's be practical for a second. We've delved into the challenges and the necessary skills, but what about the rewards? What kind of earning potential can someone expect as they climb that hydropower career ladder?
That's the question on everyone's mind. According to RoleCatcher, the median salary for hydropower engineers in the U.S. hovers around $90,000 per year.
Not bad at all. A comfortable living, even for those just starting their careers. And I imagine that figure goes up significantly as you gain experience and take on greater responsibility.
Absolutely. Seasoned engineers with a proven track record can command considerably higher salaries, often surpassing $150,000 annually.
Now we're talking. But we all know it's not just about the paycheck. What are some of those intangible rewards, those non-monetary perks that make a career in hydropower engineering so fulfilling?
Imagine this. You're driving through a valley and you see this magnificent dam, this impressive feat of engineering. And, you played a part in bringing that structure to life, in harnessing that clean energy that's powering homes and businesses. That feeling, that profound sense of accomplishment of knowing you're contributing to a more sustainable world, that's something money can't buy.
I can only imagine how incredible that must feel to look at something so grand and know you had a hand in creating it. Speaking of incredible creations, let's talk about those amazing hydropower plants themselves. What makes them tick? What are the key ingredients that make this whole clean energy magic happen?
At the core of it all is the turbine. It's the workhorse, the engine that transforms the energy of flowing water into a usable form.
It's all about capturing that kinetic energy, that raw force of nature, and converting it into something that powers our lives, right?
Exactly. As the water surges through a constricted channel called a penstock, it hits the turbine blades with incredible force, setting them in motion.
So it's that carefully orchestrated dance between nature and human ingenuity that makes it all work. And speaking of choreography, we know hydropower plants come in all shapes and sizes. We've got these massive dams that span entire rivers, and then there are smaller, more localized systems. What factors influence the size and design of these clean energy powerhouses?
It boils down to the unique characteristics of the location itself. For example, in mountainous regions where you have these dramatic changes in elevation, you'll often find high-head hydropower plants.
Taking advantage of nature's roller coaster, harnessing that energy as water cascades down, it makes sense.
Exactly. They're designed to maximize energy generation from that vertical drop. But then in areas with flatter terrain and wider rivers, you're more likely to see low-head hydropower plants. They might not have that dramatic elevation change, but they compensate with a larger volume of water flowing through.
So it's about working in harmony with nature's design, adapting the technology to fit the environment. That's fascinating. But let's zoom out for a moment and look at the big picture. Just how significant is hydropower in the grand scheme of global energy production? Where does it stand in the renewable energy landscape?
Hydropower currently accounts for over 16% of global electricity generation, securing its position as the world's leading source of renewable energy.
Wow, that's a substantial portion of the world's energy needs being met by hydropower. It's clear that it's already a major player in the renewable energy game. But what about the future? What trends are shaping the industry, and what can we anticipate in the coming decades?
One of the most exciting developments is the integration of cutting-edge digital technologies into hydropower systems.
It's like taking these clean energy workhorses and giving them a 21st century digital upgrade. What does that look like in practical terms?
Think sensors, data analytics, even artificial intelligence, all working behind the scenes to optimize plant operations and squeeze every drop of efficiency out of hydropower generation.
That's incredible. It sounds like the future of hydropower is intricately linked to the digital revolution. But with all this talk of AI and automation taking center stage, it begs the question, will we even need human hydropower engineers in the future? Or will those jobs be replaced by lines of code?
It's a question that's on many people's minds these days, but I firmly believe that human ingenuity will always be the heart and soul of hydropower engineering. While AI can certainly crunch numbers and optimize systems, it's the human mind that excels at those flashes of creative problem solving and those big picture strategic decisions that shape the industry.
So it's not about a competition between humans and machines. It's about finding ways for them to work together, leveraging each other's strengths for the greater good.
Precisely. In fact, these advancements in technology might actually free up hydropower engineers, allowing them to dedicate more time and energy to truly innovative and impactful work. Imagine them diving deeper into research and development, exploring groundbreaking ways to harness the power of water, or pioneering even more environmentally sound solutions.
That's a very optimistic and inspiring perspective. Speaking of inspiration, let's shift our focus to those compelling career paths within hydropower engineering. Because as we've discovered, it's not just about building dams. It's about designing systems that work in harmony with the environment, protecting ecosystems, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible with clean energy. It's like we've uncovered this whole treasure trove of career options that we never even knew existed. We've talked about design engineers and hydrology engineers, but I'm sensing there's even more to uncover in this hydropower universe.
Oh, absolutely. For those who are passionate about protecting our planet, becoming an environmental engineer within the hydropower sector could be incredibly fulfilling.
Yeah, that's a combination that really speaks to my heart. What does that look like in action? What are some of the things these environmental engineers actually do?
They're the ones on the ground, ensuring new hydropower projects have minimal impact on the surrounding ecosystems. They might be the ones designing those fish passages we talked about, conducting thorough environmental impact assessments, or even working on restoring habitats that might have been affected by older dams.
They're like the guardians of nature within the world of hydropower, making sure that clean energy goes hand in hand with ecological responsibility.
Exactly. And it's a critical role because we need that balance. Now, if someone wants to be at the very forefront of innovation, always pushing the boundaries of what's possible with hydropower, that's where research and development comes in.
Ah, so those are the trailblazers, the ones who never stop asking, what if?
Hmm. What are some of the exciting things happening in hydropower research and development?
Well, they might be developing entirely new turbine designs, exploring ways to harness the immense power of ocean waves, or even delving into the potential of tidal power as a reliable energy source. It's a field that's constantly evolving. It's mind-blowing when you think about it. The possibilities are endless. But it also makes me realize that with something as massive as hydropower, it's not just about the technical side. You need people who understand the bigger picture, the policies, and the regulations that govern it all.
Absolutely. And that's where hydropower policy and regulation experts come in. They're the bridge between the engineering world and the decision makers, ensuring that everything runs smoothly.
Okay, so now I'm picturing someone with 1 foot in the engineering world and 1 foot in the policy world. That's a special skill set. What does a typical day look like for these folks?
Well, they might work for government agencies, advocating for the sustainable development of hydropower resources, or for NGOs, making sure that those crucial environmental regulations are being followed. They could even work within the industry itself, guiding companies through the often complex world of hydropower policy.
You know, I never would have even thought about that career path before, but it makes perfect sense. It's a great reminder that hydropower is so much bigger than just dams and turbines. It's a whole interconnected world.
Exactly. And like any thriving ecosystem, it needs a diverse range of skills and passions to truly flourish.
This has been such an incredible deep dive into the world of hydropower engineering. We've covered so much ground, from understanding the basic principles to exploring those amazing career paths that are shaping the future of clean energy. If someone's listening to this, feeling that spark of inspiration, what's one piece of advice you'd give them to embark on their own hydropower journey?
Don't be afraid to reach out to people already working in the field. Go to conferences, join professional organizations. The hydropower community is incredibly welcoming and supportive, especially to those just starting out.
Such great advice, and it reinforces what we've been saying all along. It's not just about technical expertise. It's about communication, collaboration, and that shared passion for making a real difference in the world.
Couldn't agree more. It's an incredibly exciting time to be a part of this industry, and I, for one, can't wait to see what the future holds for hydropower.
And there you have it, another deep dive explored and conquered. We hope you've come away with a newfound appreciation for the power of water, the ingenuity of those hydropower engineers, and the diverse range of career paths that await in this essential field. Until next time, keep those minds curious, keep exploring those possibilities, and let's all work together to create a cleaner, more sustainable world.